Good morning. Just again, same time today as yesterday. I don't know if the few viewers that watched this video would have seen the other recent videos, but yeah, essentially I just broke down to life again. It's nothing new. Happens periodically with my mental health, but I'm not able to think it out, and I'm not able to compartmentalise it as I normally do, because my mental health won't let me think. It just won't let me think. I don't know if I'm just in too much shock, or it's wanting me to just be with the trauma, which doesn't really do a thing, because it doesn't really change anything. I'll just get used to an insane terror for a little bit longer rather than a little bit more. What I half suspect is my sister. She's and I mentioned to her a couple of years ago when we were talking about EMDR. It's another type of therapy, and ever since, on a spiritual mental health level, I've been experiencing EMDR, and it's just exposing yourself to the shock, the trauma, the emotions that is happening in a mental health way, a spiritual way. And I complained enough about CBT, but this is no better. I mean, it's a case of, if anything, I think what my sister is, because she's, on a spiritual level, she's fucking insane. She's like the most grounded person in this world, but on a spiritual level, if you know her, to look at her from that perspective, she's absolutely fucking insane. And as I've mentioned it before, I think the CBT, I half broke it about a year and a half, 2 years ago. I just rode it out. The insanity that is CBT. CBT takes a problem where you can normally live with that problem to life. This is my experiential report on CBT. Time after time, this is how I experience it. And it's like, you go to a therapist and they're like, a CBT therapist, and they're like, what's the problem, Andreas? And you're like, X is the problem. And what they do, they take that problem and make it all encompassing to your entire life. So they're like, they put you in a loop of the problem, and you can't breathe to anything beyond that. Until you get past your problem. And I think the way I broke it was because they put you in a loop. That's what it feels like. They put you in a reoccurring loop, and all there is. Well, I remember when I first started to have CBT. I think I've been having it for years on an unconscious level, but for whatever reason, to go and sit in front of a therapist and tell them your problem and expect help. And then all of a sudden, because I remember one of the first times I went to see or something, and there was no oxygen other than to just dwell in the terror of whatever I just told them. And you don't come out of it, you don't realise when you come out of it, because you're stuck there for quite a while. It doesn't go away the same day after. It sticks around. And I had so many courses of CBT, and then I went to a private medical hospital. That's what I used a lot of my dad's inheritance for, to go private, because I wanted to explore treatment without medication, and they could cater for it as a exploration to see if it could work. And the hospital was heavily CBT based. Like, there'd be daily classes and work groups and all of that, and they'd all be based on CBT. And as I said, I wasn't fond of it to begin with, and then constant CBT, like you go to a CBT camp. It's like, how many problems can we put him in a loop with? And I remember I went mad with it. I was walking around in the garden, and I just kept walking around the tree going, CBT, CBT, CBT. I went mad with CBT. That's an element of my insanity. When life has no meaning, and you're troubled by something, and appearance doesn't matter, and you're really troubled by something, you resort to natural expression. And I just went round and round this tree, repeating over and over, CBT, 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 CBT. But I came away from the hospital, and I don't know if it was just the right time in my life, or the fact that the hospital overloaded me with CBT, but I just had nowhere to go to break out of this bubble, CBT bubble, and I just looped my life. I let go of attachments. So on some level, the work I was doing on a spiritual level, and I was able just to live life with whatever was left within that bubble, and just be present with that. Sorry, the noise in the background is my therapy device. I'll switch it off. I use it every so often. I showed you yesterday on camera. It's you use it like for acupuncture points, blah blah blah. It applies a small current, TENS machine, and it activates the muscle, activates the acupuncture. Because when you use it, the reason that makes that noise is because it locates the acupuncture points for you, so it's like an acupuncturist in your hand. It's not quite as effective. Acupuncture really helps to still the nervous system, still the body. It removes the pressure, and I find, for me, it's like a stillness acupuncture. Whereas with the current, you feel it and it stimulates the muscle. So I haven't seen on the bigger picture yet. I haven't used it enough yet to really be able to see its benefits. Like, other than you can feel it, you can feel it working. It's like if I do my neck here, I can feel the it's activating some sort of lymphatic system, and I believe it's water. So whatever the water is in my neck, and it feels really. I mean, there's a slight pinch to the current because I can't bother to turn it down. You feel like imagine you've got water under the skin running up, and like this, the water stagnates. And you apply this, and it just stimulates a little current through the water and jolts the body into something that feels a bit more alive. But as I said, I want to see it on just in the moment, and I guess I need to use it a little bit more to find that. How much are these? £15, £50, something like that. Somewhere between that. You could save the planet, man. Imagine all those people with famine and drought, working on the waters in the body. You know, it senses it itself. You just have to listen and press. You know, £15. How many drugs could we? How many millions can we give to the pharmaceutical industry before we start to justify it? I mean, justify giving one to every person and giving them a 30-minute lesson at school. Oh, you broke your acupuncture pen this week, James. Yeah, come and trade it in. We'll give you the Andreas proof acupuncture pen that's unbreakable because it manages to break everything. We can see that one working. But I woke up with PTSD today. It's like every day. The reason is because of my sleep. I pass out because I'm too weak to do anything with my sleep, and I wake up every morning like I've just experienced something that's going to make me weaker. In other words, the sleep I'm getting now makes me weaker rather than stronger. And it's like a reoccurring thing. I need to assert myself to my entire life. But where I've got so much trauma because of the sleep, why it's happening, because I'm fighting against the system and being forced medication because of my nature. By my nature, I'm mentally ill. By my nature, I've learnt to confine that illness to shouting. And I admit I'll probably bang a wall with my hand or bang a door frame, and I can a blunt object so I don't cause any harm to myself, and I don't cause any harm to anybody else other than the sound of the noise coming out of my mouth and from the door frame. I feel that's pretty acceptable, you know. If a human being is troubled, whether it be my nature or whether it be because of my life, and then that has become my nature, then I'm happy to accept it at this level if I don't have to fear medication. Anyway, that's where I'm hitting my head against the wall with in terms of life, but I'm gonna take it on. I'm gonna communicate my views. I've got plans to really be proactive and open up a discussion with the NHS about how archaic they are in these terms to the world. You know, I mean, if you look at war is archaic. We're priding ourselves that we're an advanced species with modern technology and ability to send robots to Mars with the ambition to send human beings soon. And we're running around with modern day bow and arrows, killing each other. For what? For what purpose? When you're advanced, what purpose is war? You want to hold on to the past? Fucking hell, man. You want to hold on to the past? Let's go and live in some huts. I put a campfire on, sit around the campfire and sing songs, have a beer. That's holding on to the past. But anyway, it's just my my viewpoint. So with EMDR, it's an exposure to the terror. And I believe, like, the way I'm waking up each day, the PTSD, I'm gonna have to become depressed to accept it, because I mean, the ignorant viewpoint I have is that we fight for our physical health our whole lives. Physical health when we're children, health our whole lives. Begin to lose health, we continue to apply good practice towards our physical health, because if you don't, you're just going to drop off. If you imagine, like, somehow this is the child, your health goes up or just is constantly good with little ups and downs, and you hit 30, maybe some get to 40 or 50 before they experience health problems, and then it begins to drop off. If at that moment you take your foot off the pedal too, you know, what hope do you have? We've got to keep fighting our whole lives for our physical health. Maybe it's an extra boost to kick up the arse to put things into gear that you weren't doing before, to help balance the curve. I'm going to try and think now in terms of the trauma that I'm talking about, because when I experienced it the other day, my experience of managing my life and my mental health, emotions, energy, body, the sensor, the alarm that normally says right now is too much. Went off for the second time in a short period. And I know from before, what happens is it's like few times, and by the time I hit the fourth time, I'm just like at such a depth. It's like fucking hell. I don't. In that, so I experienced it on the second time. The alarm went off the second time to say, what you're experiencing is too much for you. And because I can see my life, I'm ever more of a stalker to the circumstances of my life and the happenings and my mental health, and keeping my ego in check despite living in a world of ego. I called it then because I could see it getting to four times, 5 times, 6 times, 7 times. There's like, on the surface, just carrying on with that same mentality, there's no change. And I'm just heading for an endless bombardment. So I called it number 2, and I'm sitting down, and I've been waiting for my mind to come into gear. So I can compartmentalize it, so I can think it through, so I can get over it and carry on. Because you don't want to be stuck here, do you? It's not the place to be. And that's what I'm going to do now. So I was at the boat I'm getting ready to sell now, the other day. And I had an appointment with the mechanic. He was due to come at 9 o'clock. Well, my sleep has been so bad, it's taken all my ability to assert myself, to say, right, today I'm going to get up at 5 o'clock, I'm going to get ready and take the short journey down the road to the boat. It's not far from the house. But because I'm so traumatized, and because I have a mental health disorder, it's a case of, even if I was to manage to wake up at 6 o'clock, which the likelihood is I wouldn't, because my sleep is so oppressive, the chances are my mental health might get me, and I might start screaming at 6 o'clock in the morning and get carried away and not be able to make it to the boat for 9 o'clock. So in that place, sorry, I'm fixing my computer again. I tried to fix it yesterday and I broke it, even worse. Or reason later in the day, should I say. Gremlins again. And sleep over at the boat, And as I said, my sleep is really oppressive. I didn't manage to take myself to the boat until like 5-6 o'clock in the morning, because this thing that gets me where I just pass out to really poor, and I'll say it, breathing. You know, I sit here with a smoke, and it's like there might be an element of my ego that would hide that factor, that it's my breathing that's affected. But I've got no shame there. I followed the course of events of my life, and unfortunately it's the medication that I was forced to take at the end of last year. And ever since then, I've been having these problems. I mean, they were coming to a little extent on a, but it's all the time, and it's like from the moment I eat my dinner, I might pass out for, and it's not sleep, because I wake up and I feel my body, and it's not healthy. It's not. It's like it's been in a. It's like my energy's just been taken. And when you have restful sleep, you don't feel that. You feel like you've just had good sleep. It's given something to your life. So after I eat dinner, you know, it's like I pass out, and then I'll wake up, and I've got one of my other problems is frequent urination, and that seems to affect it on another level. So I'll be forced to wake up, unpleasant urination, and then I'll pass out again. And that happened two, 3 times, and I managed to finally get myself, after wanting to go from the night before, about 6 o'clock in the morning, and I wanted to lie down, because in that place you're not resting. I didn't make the decision to rest, and I was in a chair or whatever, an uncomfortable position. But even if you don't sleep, just to lie down for 2 hours is a lot more. It's a lot kinder to the body than that experience. So I got to the boat and I wanted to lie down for a few hours, and it happened again. I woke up at 8 o'clock, the need to go to the toilet, and I'm sorry to be so graphic, but I'm mentally ill. Let's leave it at that. And I went to the toilet, and I just wanted to lie down again to just feel the day. I knew my alarm was set. I knew I had 6 alarms set before 9 o'clock, and there shouldn't be a problem. Next thing I broke down. I couldn't handle the stress, because getting that boat sold is the next step in the process for me. The next step in the process to the engine was broken. I needed a mechanic. It was beyond me that I don't know engines, but you know, given the right frame of mind and patience to life, I can hazard a guess. And for whatever the mechanic finally did, he arrived after I broke down in tears and I was screaming, and he must have probably heard me. I swear he knew which boat it was. But I realised in that moment I can't deal with this life. can't deal with this life. I can't deal with this life. This isn't life. And I knew in that minute it was number two. I can't remember when the first experience was that life is too much, but that was the second knock at the door, and I was like, I knew I had to just focus myself and take stock and make change. Luckily the mechanic came, luckily the problem it wasn't anything serious with the engine, so that was good news. But where I could have tied up that boat by now, had it in a place to be sold, where I could have put my flat in absolute check and started putting stuff on eBay to get a bit more money and get ready for the move, or I could have been at the other boat doing some vital welding work and getting ready for my uncle to finally come and finish the work, which he keeps delaying. I've had to say no to everything. And I'm sitting here fixing and breaking my MacBook, which I really need at the moment, because I'm depressed. But my mental health won't let me be depressed, but it still wants me to experience the EMDR, and I'm just in a constant place of third world problems. However mad this going to get in at the top of the world, it's bad. But there's still third world problems. I have to live in this third world, you know? And for that reason, it's like, those problems are always going to be here, man. How do I can really compartmentalize it, like, yeah, it's a third world problem. Let's stop living in the third world and detach myself and connect to a different level of suffering and life experience on planet Earth and live at that level. I can't seem to do it because my eyes see the third world every day. My life feels the third world every day. My mental health doesn't give me the space to break free from this fucking third world problem. So I'm in a constant place of suffering, really insignificant level, but I can't break free from it. Unfortunately, the system only is there to really instigate more of that problem with the medication. As I said, it's caused my current breakdown. The therapy that's offered is CBT based. You'll get a 10-week course of CBT, and it's very unpleasant. I don't understand how it works, other than on an experiential level, my body doesn't seem to like it. Proper psychoanalysis of a human being and understanding their problems to the world isn't possible on an NHS. I'm sure some rare circumstances it can get funded, but that's just not there. And I've got a mental health disorder, so they're like, this one breaks all the time. There's no point wasting those extra funds on him. So the system isn't there to help. And I'm locked in this prison that is like, I'm well aware is up in the clouds, but it's still a fucking prison in the clouds. And I'm grateful, I remind myself I'm grateful for central heating, a shelter over my head, for food. And it's really weird because on some level, if this pandemic really shut the world down, yeah, and it shut the economies down, it shut the financial system down, it shut everything down, and we had to pick ourselves up as individual human beings because the financial system's just collapsed. Nobody holds any power anymore, and we're 8 billion individuals. I'm able to communicate. That my problem is shouting and making noise. Don't fear me. I'm no harm to you. I'm no harm to myself. I'm sure we'll be a lot more understanding all of a sudden because we don't have this thing to find a balancing act with. And where society's just crumbled and it's a bit more real, life becomes a bit more real, and it's like, right, I've got to find food, I've got to find shelter, I've got to find this, I've got to find that, I've got to keep warm. The mind becomes focused to really simple things. And where I'm alone, I realise all of a sudden I'm with 8 billion other people, because you're not all playing a fucking game anymore, are you? You're looking for the same things that I'm looking for. And I can sort of put my fucking mental health disorder to the side. But this game hasn't collapsed yet, has it? It's still going on. I find focus when to find food I've got to go to the shops. I don't. And to buy the food I've got to get benefits, and to get benefits I've got to dance a specific way and say specific vibrational bollocks that comes out my fucking mouth to idiots that will play a game back to you, because that's the system that we're working within. And all the while I just want to stab myself and cut my fucking eyes out and feed them to myself, because the whole thing is sickness, and the whole thing is the fucking cause of my mental health disorder. Let's make it a bit more real. Let's see what happens to my mental health disorder. And I don't know how to find life with my physical health, with the system, with all of the different pressures. And I'm resorting to being like a little child today and yesterday with the computers. That's what I used to do as a teenager, just piss about with old computer parts trying to install Mac on a PC. Never really worked, but I never gave up. I just always kept trying. And I'm broken again, and I know it's really serious this time, and it's a new, different way where life has taught me to keep functioning and won't let me rest and just heal my body. So I've resorted to just one way or another focusing on the computer. I don't know what else to do. And I need the computer because one element of the action plan that I'm pretty sure is high priority, and that is to That is to write a letter to the doctor. So I need the computer. I'm just depressed with my body, man. I can't describe it. I give everything on a daily basis to my body, and it's doing stuff I don't want it to do. And as I speak, I'm just trapped in the trauma. And because my eyes are lying to me, I'm unable to really feel and see. When your mind goes to the pain, it's like you rely on your eye. Well, I can imagine we rely on our eyes. You know, the stress, look at my eyes. The stress comes to the eyes, and all you need to do is see the world through the filter of the stress that you've put around your eyes. And where your mind has just disintegrated, you just see life via the filter of reality. But because my eyes lie to me, it's like everything's rosy. I keep telling you, rose-coloured spectacles, whatever. I'm in a constant place of stuckness. I keep hitting a wall. I keep not being able to think because my brain has stopped because of the trauma, and my eyes don't see truth anymore. So I'm gonna have to hold my head like this and just speak however it comes out, what's going on, what are the possibilities, and hear myself say that. And let's see if I can formulate a plan this way. So I need to be proactive with my problems to the world, and that is the medication. That requires a letter to the consultant expressing my viewpoint of my mental health situation in absolute detail, including how much of a fucking annoyance the medication is that's meant to heal, and express that to them. That will likely be an possibly bear fruit later down the line, but that's going to be a few years of hard work, constant communication, and it won't really, in the immediate of the medication, it'll allow some rest to the stress because I'm being proactive there, and it will also throw up a lot of stress at times when things don't go my way or how I hope. In terms of the sleep, I need to be able to assert myself to life, and at the moment I'm a bit weak because I'm under the constant threat of medication. And when I say assert myself, I mean explore the terror that is doing this to me when there shouldn't be a reason. I'm very clear, I see it as an external consciousness doing this to me in terms of my sleep, beyond just the effects of the medication. So I know the doctors aren't stupid, and you know, I've been recommended a really harsh medication before, and I took it because it shut my digestion down, and I've not had proper digestion since. It killed my nervous system. I've not been able to tune into my nervous system since. A year later, I'm given another medication that I've seen written down that it heals my mental health, that it heals mental health. Others say it doesn't heal. This one apparently said it heals, and I took it, and I wouldn't trade my physical body for my mental fucking health, man. I systemized my mental health, and it wasn't pleasant, but I would have sold out my mental health for my physical health. And that's what that medication does. It takes something from your physical body and says, look, here's a lie, go and live. It doesn't heal, it kills. Why? I was okay, well, I was able to live with my mental health. It's been the stress of hospital and the stress against society that's been the problem. And I'm not, this wasn't about, and I had a mental health disorder, and we all had to find food, and we all had to, you know, blah blah blah, live our own lives, live by survival. It'd be terrifying to have the mental health disorder I currently have. But either way, the world is the world, and I've come at it from a certain angle, and I've managed to deal with it a certain way. And my final problem is the system, it is the medication, it is the means to heal. I really think I've hit my head against the wall this time. I really think there's nowhere else to go. I really think I might sit here and have to let my boat go. I'm too ill. I can't see a way through. No danger to myself, no danger to anybody else. And I know, and this is what's been driving me the past few months, despite the lack of sleep, is that if I don't get my arse in gear, things are just gonna worsen. And that's the only thing that's been driving me. I can't live like that, man. I can't live knowing that I've got to get up for 9 o'clock. Fucking hell, it's like I'm saying I've got to wake up for 5:30, man. I've got to wake up that early? I can't wake up that early, I'm going to be so tired. No, I've just got to be ready by 9 o'clock. And I went to bed clothed. I can't have this constant effect of the medication killing me on a physical level. and me suffering those physical symptoms when everything I try and do is for my physical body. And just because of the sickness of society and the way of my mental health is, I'm in constant fear, and that doesn't help. I'm caught in this CBT loop that I'm pretty sure one of the ambulance personnel that have knocked at my door to help put me under. So I don't know how CBT works, but I'm aware a few more people that other than a CBT therapist can pick it up on a different level, and I'm pretty sure she put me under a CBT loop. So I didn't fucking ask for that. I have a lot to be grateful for. I have a boat. With people I don't understand. With people who are willing to put me in this unpleasant when they're not. That's not their job. I'm living in a world for help, and the staff want to argue against me for no reason. They want to fight me for no reason. It's and then you want to come away and say things are going to get worse. Well, if things are going to get worse, to sort of really explore this, because being ill, beyond anything, not wanting to take the medication but willing to take the medication because society just doesn't make sense, and I'm good. So I take myself to a mental health ward, and the staff want to fight me and argue with me for no reason. In hospital, I took myself voluntarily, and one of the staff, I can't remember how we were, what it was, what I asked, or how the conversation arose, but to have a go against me. At the time, the Canal and River Trust, the finality was that they helped, but in that course, they changed their tone. My boat was stolen. They were being idiots. And I've got to rely on communicating with these people for my house, what's to be my house. I'm sorry, I don't understand arguing. So I'm not able to function, man. I'm dead, I've died. I'm sitting here, and the sum total is I'm starting to accept I'm going to be losing my boat, because I can't get I don't know how to get myself out of this pickle. I've tried again today for a whole fucking hour, and I've got to the same place. I'm sitting here in fucking agony from my hip. If I go into the doctor and tell him I've got a problem with my hip, they just ignore me. I can't live in this world. Time to wait. my relationship to the other living beings that surround me and supposedly give off life force energy is corrupted. There's in a way that I understand, and I keep trying to bend and break, but I've got to try something new. Just when I throw everything out the pram, it's a case of I need fucking room in this pram, man. There's no room. The ideas are just to go to Glastonbury tour, do something spiritual. But the want isn't there for me. It's like I've followed it over the course of the pandemic. My mental health keeps saying, go to Glastonbury, close to Glastonbury. I'm like, why? It would be a nice thing to do, but now it's not the right. Before I lose it. That's what I'm going to do today. I don't have a choice. I have to go a different way, you know. I have to just do something totally different, and that's really, in terms of my life, that's the sensible thing to do right in this moment. Otherwise, I'm gonna have it stolen or go back to it after a year in hospital and find it sunk, and everything's lost. So I'm thinking that's the wise thing to do. I'm gonna sit on that for another day, see where I get with it. But right now, that's what I'm gonna have to do. My mental health doesn't let me think after 5 days. You're all fucking mad to me. I don't know if I've just become so fucking mad I can't see a logical reason why a member of mental health staff wants to argue against me for no reason from my perspective. I don't know, have I got that bad an appearance? What is it? And it's not just the one person, this happens to me all the time. People just want to argue against me. I'm starting to accept I've got no life. I need to that's the likely thing of what's going to happen. I'm going to sell the boat. My uncle's playing games with me to a certain extent. He should have been helping me with the boat, and he's a bit that way anyway. He'll be really bad with doing work. I know what he was like. I worked with him for a period of time, and he'd always have problems with clients. I don't know if it's all builders or what, but finishing on time and doing it to specific time, but I've got a mental health disorder, and my uncle knows how to speak to me. My uncle knows me, and he knows that I listen. And he hasn't really bothered to communicate to me the situation at times, weeks on end, without communication or for me to pick it up. And from my perspective, I can sort of see why things have stopped, but there's no communication from him. And that's weird behaviour when you've got a job that you've committed to. I myself, and my uncle's been with, he's delayed the project. Not only has he delayed the project, unless it is because I have just become so detached from humans that I don't understand your mentality anymore. But it's like I know he's capable of more than what he's been doing at the boat at times. And he'll almost leave things in a certain way, a certain place, to just say, and as I say, in the first instance, my side, it's like I can always see why work stopped. Why my uncle, who's an honest person, a good person, a wise person, doesn't do the other half and just see of the situation and make sure communication is made, because I'm the ill one. I'm the one who's told him, I'm paying you costs because I've got a mental health disorder and physical health problems. That's why I'm hiring you. And it's just like, it's almost like the situation wants me to say, my uncle can't deal with me having a mental health disorder now, and he can't accept it. He can't accept that I'm able to manage within my mental health, and I know what to do within my mental health given this fucking world. And he needs to manage his own emotions to the situation and pretend like 15 years ago. That's not my uncle. My uncle is emotionally impeccable. So my uncle's playing games with me too. People are playing games with me all the time. And I know you know I'm aware, but is this some age-old burn the witch, and if she survives, kill her, burn the witch if she dies, or she wasn't a witch situation? I think it is. And I'm saying, get your fucking mind together, spirituality. Get your fucking mind together, world. I know the game on that level. So what I've done, I've taken my life and I've started from the point of reality that we all share, that this world says is truth. You can possibly hear the children playing at a school that, as most schools, all incomprehensible history of humanity, geography is probably one of the more accurate lessons. Science, that's a theory, but willing to give people an indoctrination as if it's the truth. Language lessons that do nothing but indoctrinate people to hold to words, kill our spirit on a certain level. Because with language, the ultimate of language is what you get in court. And in court, it's like a different language. The words don't mean the same thing that you would use them out on the streets, out in the public. They have a different meaning, they have a different context. And if you say it means something a little bit different than just, oh, I get what you... And you've just committed yourself to something. And people are willing to take your in the right country and imprison you in another country for your incomprehension of how to use the language that you're not really taught of at that level when you first taught it in school. So language is atrocious. Language is there to enslave at the moment. Not in itself, but we need to. Why are we really using money when we don't fucking need to? So I start at the levels of these places, the levels of reality. And I say I don't understand your want to argue against me. I'm coming at it from this level where we're interacting first, and for all intensive purposes is what counts beyond anything. Coming at it from this perspective. And if I carry on there, and I can look down and I can say, well, yeah, that's what's happening. And I can look in the camera and I can say, I know that's what's happening. And I know you're aware of that. But don't fucking play games. I can't understand. And that's what I can't understand. That incomprehension on so many different levels that I expressed, I don't understand. I understand. I know you're aware. I know you know I'm aware. It's almost like you're playing a wait. But I'm suffering at this level. And that is where I'm kicking up a fuss at. The amount of times I've lived the dream that should become a reality, like that fucking boat. And I've had to sell myself short because of our collective fucking sickness is incomprehensible. But that's not the problem. The problem is, it's my survival. It's my daily fucking stress level living in a place that I shouldn't be living in. I left the side that God knows what the teachers must tell those children with the language that comes out my mouth, the screams that come out my mouth. You think I can't hear myself, I can't see myself at that level with a fucking school opposite. Of everything, life makes me weak, so I've got no willpower to assert myself and say, you know what, fuck the children too. The children are the fucking children of you. And the fucking people that surround me and the fucking people that argue with me with medication and force me with medication, and the nice doctor that still fucking persists and pressures me with fucking medication, even though I've told him I don't like medication. I've thought about it on one or two occasions now, and I've decided against it, and still pressures me because of the collective fucking status quo. So on a level, fuck the children. I can't do a thing, but because life makes me weak, I'm like, I can't bear it. You know, it's like all of a sudden I'm like, I can't, and I can't deal with how I affect my next door neighbours, and I can't. You know, on one level, this is what my parents taught me as a fucking child: be courteous, be respectful, remember your fucking manners. Scream. I'm not in the right place, man. And in my weakness, where I should have sat here and said, you know what, fuck it, I'm gonna... Fuck your medication, you fucking cunts. Get a fucking mind and come and speak to me. Don't fucking piss and shit until the door... And I have a big Barney, because that's where I'm at. But where I'm weak, I'm like, I can't do that. I don't have the strength to put myself through any more pain. Move more practical in terms of my mental health, in terms of me making noise. I can always move. I can always take myself more in somewhere a bit more remote, a bit closer to a forest, and I can maybe assert myself to take those negative emotional screams and become proactive to them, and go out and do some primordial screaming in a forest. In a more harmonious way, before it becomes a case of I'm in pain, now I scream, and that comes out of my mouth isn't pleasant. So I can be a bit more proactive, do primal scream therapy if I'm in the right environment. But I'm in the middle of fucking London here, man, with a fucking school. No, not a primary school. I don't know, the infant school. And in honesty, a boat isn't the right situation, but I know about life. It will challenge me in a certain way. It will give me something in a certain way. It will take something from me in a certain way. But it's a little bit better. Let's just do that. Why not? Myself to that. And I've got this fucking cunt from hospital. My mental health has created the situation where a fucking idiot from hospital. No, he seemed like a good guy in hospital, and this is what I can't understand. It doesn't normally happen when I get a sense about someone and they're a good person, and then they become a cunt within the realms of my mental health. But that's what's happened with this person. He keeps doing unpleasant things to me. I'm not gay. Nothing against gay people. Reference it. I don't speak about sexual orientation, so I apologise if politically incorrect. I mean no harm. But I'm just not gay. I know I'm straight, and I have an unexplored might get a chance to explore one day, but I'm not gay. And within my mental health, he just keeps pestering me in a very, very homophobic way. And I thought I'd put that out there on camera because nothing else has really come of this video. So maybe if I air out some psychosis with this bastard that fucking keeps horrifying me in homophobic ways, that might go away. I don't know what else to do. I can't sit here. I'm going to shit myself in fear to my life, to losing my home, to being forced not to stand up and move forward. But when you've got your alarm going off at times that you didn't set it, and not going off at times when and you're reliant upon sleep for your mental health, to admit your limitations as a one of the 8 billion cunts on the planet. To this video. I don't know what much else I would have added. I'd give a perspective on how I manage my mental health, where an honest perspective in terms of my failings. But the sum total is this video. In the first instance, so we'll see how we go. Maybe I've just given myself a starting point. I just listen back to this video and it'll make writing that letter a little bit easier. What I'm going to do now is explore something different. Come at it from a different way. Come at it from a conspiracy theory way, and I don't often do this. Well, I don't really recall myself doing this ever. I'm sure I have, but theory in terms of spirituality, and that is to say, as I said, on some level, I know we're all living a spiritual life, and somewhere down that, because of my experience on a day-to-day basis, I can't see the big picture of why someone in hospital might want to argue against me. But let's be honest, let's look at it in a different way, and that is to say, there's a big problem with the world, and that is sex. The main problem that I'm aware of is men. The necessity or the desire to ejaculate as part of the sexual intercourse process, and with regular release, men become weak. This is me throwing ideas out there. Whereas I've not really had a sexual relationship, and I've been aware since my late teens of what I just stated, ejaculation weakens the man, and that since my mid-20s, I've worked on stopping. Obviously, not in a proper relationship. It was I have no sexual experience, man, so it feels weird talking about it, but from masturbation before. And since about 25, I've really worked on reducing that. And I've been wild with my mental health, and I've been in constant stress. So maybe I'm giving off a different pheromone. They're pheromones, hormones, whatever they're called, and people can sense them off me. Maybe women can sense it, maybe men can sense it. Maybe they get riled by me just standing there, stinking, because I can't keep myself hygienically clean and impeccable as I otherwise would. Or maybe it's energy. Maybe it's the energy work that I've done in my life, and I have a big energy field, and where people live their lives, and it's like a constant fuck over of energy on every level, from the food to the way we live to the way we interact. And then I rock up with an energy field, not that I have one much anymore after the past year and the rape I've been put through. And maybe people can sense it. Maybe people can get riled by it. Maybe people can tune in on a different level that I'm giving credit for. And I know about energy, and I know about pheromones, and I know about all of these things, but how the fuck, when I'm speaking to the Canal and River Trust, can they smell my pheromones? For them to be aggy against me. And it's not just the Canal and River Trust. I lose count of how many people on the phone that I've been spoken to, and it's the same situation. It's just like, I'm aware you're trying to make my life difficult. And I've given nothing. At first, you know, I had a tone about me because I just hate life and everything I've been through, and I hate you all. So I'm going to have a tone about me, but I'm not going to be rude. Not intentionally, unless I'm in a lot of pain. Never intentionally, but it might come across, have come across if I'm in pain. But I'm pretty on point with conversations to know that if I receive something back and I've been put a tone across, it's sort of half deserved, you know, and there's nothing to get worked up about. So to the flow of the conversation, to the flow of interaction and communication, things are off. And it's time after time. So it's not pheromones. Our 8 meter wide energy field, unless it's grown that much somehow that it expands a lot more than just 8 meters, it's not energy. So what is it? You know, what is it that makes someone on the end of a phone start being a cunt to me for no reason? And what is it that makes a member of staff at a hospital look like she wants to kill me? I'm at a loss there. I tried to explore, is it possible that there's some sort of spiritual concept that I'm just lying to myself about? And then beyond that, it's the fact that I believe I'm in a coma. And I realised it yesterday, you know. I did a quick search. It's like, what part of the brain is active in a coma? I was like, right, let's do it. And then I realised, right, if I go and work on that, maybe I can wake myself up to the coma. You know, if I'm awake within my coma, giving energy to my body, to the very thing that is sort of needed to wake up from the coma, maybe I can work at it from that perspective. And then I realised I get shut down every so often with medication. Like, my pineal gland gets shut down and starts calcifying again with the bullshit they pump into my body that I'm being forced with. And I'm like, you know, from the right perspective, that's me like having some sort of seizure or near-death experience within this coma. Maybe that's me trying to kill myself, the medication. That's as far as I've got in terms of ideas, man. And I can half see life being a real bastard to me, to make my prison in the sky a little bit more prison down on earth. And maybe that's all it is. I was going at things like you've heard what I've said. given my circumstance, and it's like I don't know how to be, you know. Ever since I lost my nervous system, and I know my physical body is suffering, I don't know how to be. It's like I've realised I need to operate from a mental level to life. And what I mean by that is there's been a few times in my life when I've needed to assert myself, and that's operating from mind. You know, you're ignoring the tiredness, you're ignoring the reality of the situation, and you're just going forward because you know you need to go forwards. But where I've lost my physical body and I realise that's what I need to resort to, I can't do it. I can't really do it. I mean, that's the way that makes sense for me to operate right now going forward. But in honesty, I had 2 knocks at the door to say, alarms are going off, you can't live this way anymore, you're doing damage to yourself. And ultimately, I suspect it's always going to go back to my sleep. But I might have to start living life as a joke. I need to start living my life as a joke that you're all making it. And that is to say, I can't work to stresses anymore. When the fundamentals for me to live a sane life are removed from me by spirituality, by society, by everybody, it's sort of got to the point where it's like every which way I need to go forward, I can't. I'm broken before I go. You know, something has managed to prevent me taking control in that area. Maybe I just need to I was going to say well, I was going to say slow right down, but I know if I have to my uncle starts to do work at the boat again, it's like the stress of reality will make me start to run around like a headless chicken. Whatever's needed to get the work. I'm facing incarceration within my own body from medication. And that's the stress level I'm working at. Like, if I fuck up, that's the likely outcome. A prolonged imprisonment in my own body. And when looking at it from the way that makes sense, sort of realise you have no hope to what you understand of this world. You have no real avenue to stop unless you're going to make it worse. So the best thing to do is to continue. But because it is a joke and like you have no hope, it's like you're just waiting to fall over at any given second. You might as well go forward with a fucking cigarette in your hand and coffee in the other hand. At the speed of life. Always. Regardless of the outcome. Do you know, I think that's what I'm going to do. I don't know what else I'm going to fucking do. I can't. Every which way, but if I sit down, I'm fucked. If I get up and move, I'm fucked. If I'm... Every which way, it's like a dead-end scenario, and this, what I just presented to you, it's probably the most harmonious route going forward. So literally just be present with myself, spend however long I need to figure out I'm not going to fix this MacBook. Just be aware of depression and do whatever the fuck I can do. When my home gets taken away from me, let it get taken. Or I can have a real foresight about this and say, look, I've got no chance with the boat. I'm foreseeing Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventures #2 when they go through to hell and they're crawling through these claustrophobic tunnels. And that's what it feels like to be on a narrowboat to a certain extent when you've got PTSD. That's what I imagine it to be like. And I'm like, you know what, there's no real point. In honesty, the situation and circumstance isn't really that much better catered to myself than living in a concrete fucking box. I need to be somewhere remote. But how is anybody going to cater for that either? And to sell the boat. I'll make a huge loss on it to the outlay I've made. And you know, come back to the flat. And wait for the pain to kick in again and the screams to really kick off. So I think that's what I've got to decide in the next day, 2 days is how do I go forward? Do I just go forward? No, I'm not going to decide. I'm going to listen. I'm going to hear life, really tune in and say to life, look life, you're a real fucking cunt at the moment, and you know that. And I'm just trying to do my best, and I've given her 3 days and a lot of shame to the world on these live streams. Fucking hell, man. none of it goes unnoticed. And the best that I can come up with is that I have two options. One is to be present, go slow with everything, to an extent I think that you're going to persist, but because it is probably the most harmonious way to life in the media, in the longer term to a certain extent, being proactive, just to go as slow as I can possibly go to achieve what I can possibly achieve, and just really let this 3 day be the lesson that's beaten that into me. Or I can really look at my life and be honest with myself at another level and say my life is fucked. My life is demanding some sort of uproar. My life is demanding some sort of massive change, and to be a little bit more balls to the wall approach, because that's not been my approach to life. But sometimes life asks that from you, and I'm saying to life, is that what you want from me right now, life? Is it to be a little bit more bold, a little bit more balls to the wall, and say, you know what, fuck this, I've got no chance to fucking move on onto that boat, and even when I do, I've got a fucking Adventures number 2. No thank you, you're not really giving me a fair option here. Fuck you. Right, this is still the world. Let's try and get some money back from the boat. And as much as I can't sit here and put up a tent and hold up a plaque, take drastic action. That's what I'm saying. So I'm going to tune in to what life is asking of me, which one of those routes, and try and go forward with that. So something has come out of this video today. I know a way forward, as much as both are fucking shit, man. And hopefully this cunt from the hospital that keeps making homophobic gestures and noises in my fucking life can fucking leave me the fuck alone, man.